No. Oh fuck.
Extra, extra.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Ah! Back to that happy place, guys. Back on the channel. All right, so we're talking about when the shit hits the fan. Pardon my French on this channel. I don't have that many views to worry about. I guess that we can and sometimes do experience failures or problems in the air. Most of them, when you do or you are used to flying in Nirvana, it's limited to the few events that you'll ever have. However, I would say that if you fly long enough, it's my saying, if you fly long enough, everything will happen to you twice at least. So in this specific video, we're going to talk about electronic failure. Oh, you know, we had such good, what a great intro, funny joke, whatever else. But this is where the problems come from. Is if, for example, you have a stator failure, if a wire goes off or a plug breaks, and to diagnose, to identify the symptom and then diagnose the problem is how we get back in the air and back to that happy place. So. Without further ado, we're going to head into an explanation of me starting to work with the chief mechanic Gabriel there. A few others in the footage is Pavlina, our translator, head of sales as well, and Gabriel Terman, our chief engineer, and Josh Bowden is the importer from the USA. And so we are going or cracking at it, and hopefully after we've done all this, we'll get back in our happy place. All right, guys. Okay, let's go. The scenario is troubleshooting the fact that when you press the starter button on the Instinct, the prop is swinging, but you don't have, the engine's not firing up. You don't have spark. So you service the engine, has been serviced. You know it's not the piston rings or something like that, or the main section of the engine. So what do you look for in an electronic fault? Here we go. First thing is the plug. To check
Kontroluju si tenhle konektor.
The control plug that goes in there.
Tenhle konektor.
That might be loose because a vibration came out. And secondly, this plug could be falling apart. That means replacing the plug, checking those wires inside. You undo that little screw over there. There's I think there's a second screw as well.
You could check continuity.
Just one screw.
Continuity from here to here.
Yeah.
To make sure everything's going through before.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 screw.
There we go. There's the other screw. All right. So that plug has got to be functioning. If that plug doesn't work, then you know that might be the problem. Second thing, let's go to second course to check for.
Samozřejmě další konektor je tenhle, ale ten si musí zkontrolovat zevnitřku.
You have to check the connector from inside.
No vlastně tady pod tím smršťovačcí.
Tady? Toto?
Tady tenhle.
So you have to
Tady.
Yeah.
Check that the connection plug on that side is good. And then the third thing you're going to go for is the coil, right?
Tady je další konektor.
Yeah. All right, plugs.
Samozřejmě
There's the coil over there. If the coil isn't producing any electricity or any spark or current, then that might be the problem as well. Okay, so that coil was the third thing.
Jo, jeden druhý konektor.
Yeah.
Oba ty konektory vlastně to vede propojení, tady ty dva jsou propojené.
Okay. All right. And then the last thing, can we talk about the mistake on the stator? If there's a problem on the stator, because it happened to a machine that I had, where it flew and it just died. One of these cables came off. I think it was the earth.
Tohle ukážu to propojení. Co ty, špione? Nevidím. Tady je takový tahle kostra, to je propojené sem.
It's connected into here.
Yeah.
Tenhle plech je až sem. A jak je tady zohnutý,
So this plate is up to there and here.
tak je
So Gabriel was just basically explaining that little plate that is on the stator there, those actually completing the current. And if there's a crack in that plate, then the stator will stop functioning. And he is going to, show some tricks around that. Yeah.
Takže to dělám tak.
So bottom line is you got to check the condition of the wires on the stator once you've pulled. Use the puller tool to pull the cup off, the magnetic cup off, and then you go check on those wires.
And we have
To normálně propojím tady.
So we're connected.
This is interesting.
And why?
No, proč?
No protože toto už do budoucnosti odstraním ten problém, kdyby se zlomil ten plíšek.
So that's
So for
gone.
the future, exactly. For the future, when you attach that wire, you will just remove the problem of the plate in case it will be cracked, right?
Ukážu na novém
I
Statoru.
will show you.
So basically, if you do have a crack in that plate, that is completing the current on the stator, then you would need to just replace it by soldering a small wire in place that reconnects that connection between the wires, as you saw in the footage there. I hope it was clear enough. But your electrical diagram should be able to point that out to you as well, or even looking at your stator and seeing where that break, what wires are being eliminated with that break being in place, of that plate breaks. So I think that's a valuable tip coming from it. And if there's more information we can share on that, we definitely will.
Somewhere the old cutting rosettes, so when he will find it, he'll give it to you.
All right, I just want to point out here, when he's putting back the stator and the cup mount, that he had already made the marking when he took it off. So there he made a metal marking scratch there, and he also had a color marking to make sure that the cup is gonna come onto the right place. Now the symptoms, if you do this wrong, what'll occur is that you will not get spark. You'll get weak spark. So if you, for example, would have mounted it like this, would have mounted it like that, you will get weak spark to no ignition. So that's why it is important to have this cup mounted in the right place. Okay, see, color marking matches, and then the scratches are on the inside as well. That's how it works. I'm okay.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra, extra, read all about it.